Hello everybody, welcome back to another Holmgard video. Today is episode 16, and after yesterday's kind of shorter episode, I haven't really played again since that, but I think it's finally time for me to do something new. Because here, the project that I've been working on for a long time for this base here, I've done some more progress that I would have done in a time lapse, but honestly, I just kind of felt out of it, and I'm just no longer enjoying this project anymore because it's just a long grind for pretty much nothing. So if you think about it, all of this work that I've put in, and then even just me decorating it and stuff with all the interior whatevers, it'll still just be a cave and nothing else. It's a lot of work for very little payoff, and that's not even including what I have to do up at the surface. And honestly, I'm just kind of done with it. So I think it's time to go back to the oldest idea that I've had, and also the original video on my channel. So for any of you that would recognize the Township series, that was the literal first video that I've ever posted on this channel, I would not recommend going to check it out because they're not very good. But I say we go back to that original idea and go from there, and I do have a spot in mind for that. I hope that you enjoyed that time lapse, and here is the final product. That definitely does not look natural, but once I put buildings and stuff in there, I think it'll be nice having that kind of slope up to add more depth to it. And I also decided to clear out all the kelp from this area here, and I just think it looks a lot nicer without the kelp, because now you can actually see what's going on, and it just makes a little bit more sense to not have any kelp there. But yeah, so I went through, I basically just dug out all the terrain at arm's length, and then yeah, so I think the next step is to add the town center area, which I kind of want to be directly on the water because I think that'll look cool. But the only problem is that that doesn't really make sense. But honestly, I think I will just put it probably, I was either thinking here because this cool rounded island shape, but also that again doesn't really make sense because most of the town is over there, so the town center shouldn't be here. So I'm thinking it's going to probably end up being right here, and I can just kind of bring that out and across. And then I'm definitely going to have to add in a retaining wall, because that'll just add or make the city look more defined and stuff as an edge here. So I think I'm going to get right on that. This here is exactly what I'm going for. So I have a background of stone and andesite, just a lot of filler, and then stone bricks frames it out for the wall itself, and then I'm adding some mossy stone brick underwater because that just makes sense for underwater, and then nice clean up top, and then some chiseled to break it up a little bit. And then back here I just have slabs and stairs for a little bit of an edging for where the actual flat part will be. I will have to dig out some of this terrain and replace it with stone, but that's not going to be too bad. And yeah, I think that this just works very well, and I think I should do a couple more and see from there. I have now worked on a little bit more of this. I apparently forgot a piece of chiseled stone. I am in free cam right now just for ease of showing, just so I'm not bobbing up and down in the water all the time. But yeah, I think that this looks really cool. The only part that's kind of iffy is here where I have to go back. I decided that instead of just having a free floating stair and have this back one, I just decided to make it too long and then have this, yeah, too long. And I think that works a lot better than how it was, and I think it looks pretty good. These I haven't detailed yet, or with the mossy cobblestone or whatever. I will get to that later, but yeah, just to show you that this is coming along pretty nice, and I really like this curve, and I think I could just keep it coming a little bit sharper along here in the corner. I have extended the wall a little bit more across the side and around this corner. This corner is kind of iffy. I'm not really a fan of like this sharp edge here, but I think it kind of works out for the best because this part here looks really nice just straight across. Obviously I haven't detailed it quite yet because this looks a lot better than what this looks like, but yeah, for these corners I just did another pillar here and then extended it down with some walls to kind of round it out. I wasn't really sure how I would tie it in with this pillar, so I just decided to build another one. And then here on an inside corner I did kind of the same thing. The chiseled blocks are kind of hidden, but I don't know, I think it works. Yeah, I think that looks really nice. And then up here I haven't really filled in the stone walkways yet, but I think I might like border this out with some smooth stone to then transition into some cobblestone or whatever, because I'm not really a fan of how this stone looks, but I'm not really sure how I would do it because this block here is this block, so I obviously need some kind of transition, but I'm not sure if I should just do like a hard border or a soft border, but I don't know, I'll come up with something, hopefully. I have made a lot of progress on this build, so if I again, as you can see, I extended this wall over a bit into the ocean. It's like at a cool angle inwards. I'm not sure if I've covered this or not, but I'm just going to cover it again in case. But yeah, that looks pretty cool. And also I have textured this entire area as well. So all of this stuff now has the mossy stone bricks and the andesite in it, which is pretty cool. And then also up here, I have decided to do like a rough border here instead of just the straight polished stone, which I honestly didn't like the look of. So I made this mixed cobblestone. It's a little iffy, but I know it's better than nothing. So yeah, I kind of extended it around the corner here as well. I think it looks really nice. And then I did say I was going to put the town center over there, but I kind of completely forgot about that and just left it here. So hopefully this place will work as well as the other one, because I'm thinking that as long as I like make the town like all throughout this area, it'll be fine. So I don't know. And here's like a pretty cool spot as well where I'm planning to put like a giant tree. It's going to be like the center of the town. And then I was messing around if I wanted to have like some benches here or not, but I'm not really sure if I want it here. But I think the next part is going to be a time lapse of me building a tree here. I want it to be a giant oak tree. I know it doesn't really fit in well with like all the spruce around, but I think an oak tree will look really, really cool in this area. So let's hop into a time lapse of that. I am really happy with how this tree turned out. The one thing that I'm really not happy with about the stupid biome borders totally ruins the leaves. But like once you look at it from like this angle, it looks pretty good, and from the back here it looks good as well. But I don't know. I'm happy with like the shape, but I'm really not happy with the leaf colors. There's nothing I can do about that besides like move the tree to a new location, but that just doesn't look good at all. But oh well, I can live with it, I guess. But otherwise, I think for the next part of the episode, let's move on to something kinda big. Going off of the theme of today's episode, the next part is going to be another new project. So I have a very cool server-wide idea in this new location. So I have a plan for a new server-wide game that everybody is hopefully going to enjoy, and it's definitely going to take a long time, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody. But it is going to require me to like do a lot of maintenance on it, but I'm willing to do that and put in the effort for it. So I suppose I should explain what this game is. So right now, if you look at the coordinates in the top left of my screen, as you can see, I am currently 4,000 blocks out away from everybody. So this will not interfere with anybody else's projects and stuff. And it has to do with this ocean over here. So this ocean is very big, and like a lot of it is covered by this coral reef, but the entire like playing field is going to be this ocean. And so what this game is will be mainly explained in a video that I'm posting separate from this one on my channel as well. So if you'd like more information on the project, I would recommend checking it out over there. But I will give like a brief explanation over here as well, and what I need to do first. So this is going to be like an island traveling game RPG type thing. So when people enter in this game, it's going to be like an entirely different area, like separate from the server. So people are going to need to drop off all their gear and stuff. And then they have like their own gear to go and actually like fight in the dungeons that I'm going to make. And then they have to get better gear and work their way up, get enchantments and stuff. And they're also going to have to travel around and explore to find these new locations to actually fight and stuff like that. There's going to be like a storyline and stuff along with it, which is going to be a lot of fun. And of course I will do a more in-depth explanation on the other video that is coming along with this one, but I will have to like first talk about what I'm going to need to prepare for said game on the server itself. So for the game, the main thing is going to be fighting mobs in like dungeons, and the only way to get mobs to spawn controllably is through mob spawners. Because like if I would just have natural spawning, then like a creeper could spawn and blow up the map, which isn't good, and plus you can't really control normal mob spawning very well, especially for a mini game. So, I have asked all the people on the server. I've told them the idea, and they're okay with it, and they think it's going to be a lot of fun. Is that as long as I can go out and find mob spawners, like natural dungeons in the world, and I mine them with a silk touch pickaxe, a diamond silk touch pickaxe, and then throw the pickaxe away after I mine it, I can use that type of spawner in the cave, or like the dungeon, sorry, to actually like use it for the game. It's only for a game, it's not for like any kind of mob grind or whatever. It's just for the game, and it will just make it a lot more fun. So like that, we have talked about it, everybody says it's okay, and like also I can't like change spawners, so like if I mine a zombie spawner, it has to be a zombie spawner that I put in the game. And for the spawners that I have to work with, there is zombie, skeleton, spider, cave spider, blaze, magma cube, and silverfish. Those are all the spawners that are in the game that I have to work with. I probably will not use silverfish because they can also grief the map, because when they spawn in, they have a chance to burrow into certain types of blocks. But I could just put them in a dungeon that doesn't use those blocks, but there's a lot of blocks that they can burrow into, and when they burrow into, if you attack more silverfish, then they come out of the blocks. But anyway, I probably will not use silverfish, and also blaze can light fire to stuff, so I'm not really sure if that would be a good call either, but I'll see when I get there. But otherwise, I just wanted to explain that I will need to go out and find some dungeons for spawners, so that is going to be the main thing that I need to do. But for finding these spawners, as it is becoming night right now, but for finding these spawners, the only way for me to realistically be able to find the amount of spawners that I need to actually make the game balanced for like running through dungeons is that I'm going to need a lot of spawners. And the only way for me to realistically even find spawners is to use free cam. So we have also agreed that as long as I'm like travel out, I'm allowed just to like poke my head underground and look to see if there are any spawners, and like just see if there are any like in this area. Oh, here's like a mine shaft, so oh yep, here's a spawner over here. So like yeah, so here would be where I would be able to silk touch a cave spider spawner, and that would be able to use cave spiders, one cave spider spawner in a dungeon. Which, yeah, so as long as I just go out and find one like that, that is what I will be able to do. And there's actually a buried treasure right here. But yeah, so I won't be grabbing stuff like that, but I would go along and get the spawners from the dungeons. Otherwise, in between episodes, I will probably do some grinding for getting spawners for the game because that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I don't really know a way I could do that on camera either because you can't really time-lapse it or whatever. So I'm going to have to just do it in between episodes. At least some of it in between episodes, so we can prepare a little bit next episode. But otherwise, I would like to thank all of you for watching. Like I said, I totally recommend you check out the other video that's coming out with this one about describing how this game is going to work, and also if you have some name suggestions for the game. I honestly don't really know what I could do for a name. Like, I've been kind of thinking, but I don't really have any, like, ideas that I'm happy with. So if you'd like to leave some ideas for a name down in the comments, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. But otherwise, I would like to thank all of you for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye!